Jabril, in many ways, is going through a normal freshman year, adjusting to college life, on the court, off the court. But to that end, he brings a level of competitiveness that we need, and he's a quick learner. He's a quick learner in terms of understanding what we're trying to do both ends of the floor, and he's a very good teammate.
With about 8 minutes to go in the Louisville game, Keurig looked like he wanted to go for a dunk, and Jabril decided he was going to take him out. And it seemed like that kind of sent a message. I don't want to say that the game really turned there, but I didn't see Keurig come back to the paint, at least when he was on the floor. Are those the kind of fouls that can, that kind of bring a smile to your face and maybe change momentum of the game?
I thought he was making a basketball play. He was going for the ball.
Yeah.
It just ended up as it did.
Okay. In terms of overall toughness.
How do you think I'm supposed to answer that?
Something along the lines of, that's something that, that happened in the course of you were talking about its competitive nature, right?
I'm going to stick with whatever I just said. I can't remember what it was. I'm going to stick with that.
In terms of overall toughness, and you were saying that's something you brought, is it something that maybe lacked in this team a little bit last year and the year before that, and you needed a guy who has a little bit of snarl to his game?
And I'm not sure. I think you may be describing it differently than I have. I think, the qualities, the competitive qualities that our freshman class brings in general is definitely needed.
Okay.
And just understanding how to compete at this level is something that's needed. And just the understanding that you can sit here and you can talk about X's and O's and this play and this set and that set and this offense and that offense and this defense and that defense. But at the end of the day, it's you and it's a guy standing across from you. And let's play.
Right.
Is there an interesting dynamic when you have a team that is youth heavy and the guys at the upper end, the seniors that you have, like Henry and Jason, there's almost an extra enjoyment of being where they are without entitlement. Does that make any sense to you at all?
Yeah,
There's like an extra, and it seems like there's an energy and a desire to play hard without reservations that maybe that you can have in a team that's maybe younger than in a team that's.
No, I don't think age has anything to do with it. I think it's the people.
Right.
I think it's the people that are here. And as I said about Jabril this summer, I believe, or earlier in the year, what he brings to the table is contagious, and that is very true.
Speaking of competition, Marquette's known to go hard. Was the beginning to end. Do you see that same mantra with them this year?
It's no doubt about that. I mean, that's what they do. They're an extremely aggressive team at both ends of the floor. At both ends of the floor, they're going to be up under you, pressing you at the defensive end, at the offensive end. They're coming at you. They're coming at you. They're coming at you. They're one of the better teams in the country. I mean, everyone this week wants to talk about rankings and everything. And a week, 10 days ago, they were top 10 team in the country. They have a difficult week. Now they're not, but they're the same team. They're the same team. They're just as dangerous. They're just as good. And we're the same team. And so we have to remember to do the things that have gotten us here.
John Snowden, what separates him from some of the other guys that you've matched up with this year? What makes him special?
I think he plays at a high level at both ends of the floor. He, from an offensive perspective, he can shoot. And so you have to protect the three-point line and play him like a shooter. But then at the same time, he can get to the basket. I don't want to offend anyone. I'm trying to think who we played this year, but probably as good as anyone we played this year, or on par with anyone we played this year. And then at the defensive end, he takes pride at guarding his guy. And so he's just, I think, as it relates to both ends of the court, he's a top-tier player.
How do you feel Markelle has sort of handled maybe the ups and downs? He can have a big offensive game, Louisville, but then maybe the foul trouble gets him caught up. It feels like it has a couple times this year.
Yeah, I think he's handled it. I think all of our guys understand. There's no pressure. I think that's the right phrase, right word to use. There's no pressure on any one person to score. Just because we have, and there's no pressure on our team in any particular way to score, because we have different people that can score. We can score inside, outside. We can score penetration. We can score cuts. And I think that as long as they focus on the pressure is, I have to guard my man, and I need to get rebounds. And at the other end of the court, collectively, everything will take care of itself.
Is it fair to say that Jabril is further ahead on the defensive end of being ready to play at this level? The offensive side will come later, or he's working on it?
He probably is further along, but I don't think it's a huge disparity.
Okay.
When he's walking in the door, he's physically the big, strong, athletic kid. And that in and of itself, I mean at the end of the day, defense is effort. And physically, he's as much as any freshman, he's not going to get pushed around. He's physically ready to play.
After the last game you said about Otto, he did a lot of the little things that help you win, especially in this league. Is it fair to say that Jabril might be another kind of player along those similar lines who will take charges, will get stops when they're needed, will match up against guys who maybe are bigger, can do the little things that a team needs to kind of a glue guy sort of?
I don't want to call him that, but hopefully he can do those things.
Okay.
I don't know that I like that phrase, glue guy, because we are going to ask him to do things at the offensive end.
Okay.
Also, and
Yep.
so I don't want to pigeonhole him to,
Sure.
he's this defensive energy guy. Now he has to bring that to the table, but I think, particularly as time goes on, but even now, he brings a lot more to the table. In the Louisville game, his offense kept us in the game
Early on.
in the first half, and so I don't think he's one that needs to be just put into that box of, he's a tough energy guy. But he does do those things.
Gotcha.
You mentioned the rankings in passing. Is it nice to get noticed, to get that recognition and be now up in the top 10?
I don't know. I said a couple of weeks ago I thought it was good, particularly, this is a different group. I said they're young, and so you want them, when we first entered, it's exciting for them to say, okay, no one thought about us, now we're ranked. Okay, but then you get over that, now you have to play the games. You guys have heard me say that. So is it new, exciting, or however you phrase the question? Yes, but it also is irrelevant. For the points that I just made about Marquette, a couple of weeks ago, they're sitting where we're sitting now. They have a difficult week, but they're the same guys. And so you can't get caught up in where you're ranked at this point. You have to go out and execute. You got to get stops. You got to rebound.
Is it easier to coach a team that's not ranked in terms of getting buy-in from guys as opposed to what you're talking about and being excited about being ranked high, or is one easier than the other?
No, I think that just depends on the group of guys that you have. And so the answer to that may vary year to year. This group, I think this group is just excited about playing. And I think as a coach, you hope year after year that they understand what the world says is irrelevant, and that what we have to do on the court is take care of what the world says. And I think this group truly just likes playing together.
2 games into the conference season, what's pleased you with how things have come together, and maybe what concerns you about how things?
Well, we're 2-0, so that's pleasing. The concerns are there's 16 games left, and what is the best basketball conference in the country, and so a very unforgiving league. And so I just think that we just need to, methodically work our way through this, methodically I've said this after the game the other day, and this is how we're looking at things. We just keep finding ways to accumulate wins.
Tied into the ranking thing, are you surprised, though, that the media and public perception of you guys changed so drastically?
Is yours?
I believe it did. I'm
Are you surprised?
I'm a little bit, yeah.
No, I'm not surprised, and I say that because we're unknown. Come on, we have 10 freshmen and sophomores. These are our sophomore class. You didn't see Markel play heavy minutes last year. You didn't see, the Nates and the Hollises of the world have a role in which we were dependent upon them. And our freshmen, according to most of the experts, weren't ranked highly. And so walking into this year, the world probably knew very little about our team. So I'm not surprised that we were picked/projected. And that's fine. Now, that being said, this group has to come together, this group has to work, and we'll see how things end up.
Speaking of freshmen, any update on Tyler?
Nope, things still the same.
No additional tests?
He's got another round. I don't know when the next round is, but nothing.
Coach, their crowder gives them inside, outside scoring ability. Talk about the challenges and the pressure he puts on your defense.
Yeah, because he, on paper you look at him and you say, okay, he's a post guy. But he's probably one of the better perimeter players also. And he's a guy he's just a really good offensive player. Inside, outside. off the dribble. I mean, he is, and because of his size, he poses a tough matchup for a lot of people. You know, because you get bigger guys. If you put a little guy on, he's going to take you inside. You're going to have to find a bigger guy that can chase him around, yet still guard him in the post.
So do you have any concern about the offensive rhythm and the crowd and just kind of what they were doing on defense? And I know the shots weren't falling as well, but were you pleased with how the ball was moving around that sort of?
No, going back and looking at that tape, you know, I legitimately think we got the shots we wanted. I mean, we missed a lot of wide open shots. And you go back and say, was that a bad shot? No, that wasn't a bad shot. Was that a contested shot? No, that wasn't a contested shot. It was just, the ball just didn't go in. And so I don't, you know, the flaw in the offensive rhythm was that the ball didn't go in the basket. As I said after the game, I thought we got post touches. I thought we got mid-range shots. It wasn't, you know, sometimes when you're missing, we end up just taking a lot of threes. And it wasn't that type of game also. So I don't think that there's anything related to offensive rhythm. It was just one of those days where the ball didn't go in the basket. Now the good thing is, you know, and as much as we scored 49 points, we held the Big East team to 40. And so if we can, you're going to have nights like that in this conference. You're going to have nights where both teams are going to struggle, and you just got to focus on getting stops and rebounds.
Anything else? Good stuff.
Thank you.
Thanks.